So you may be wondering, what exactly is food allergy testing? Should you get this? Is it accurate? Will your insurance pay for it? Well, in this video today, I'll give you my recommendation. Food allergy testing. We'll talk about exactly what it is, how it's different from an allergy test. Will your insurance company pay for this? And if you wait to the very end of the video, I'll give you my GI recommendation on whether you should get food allergy testing. Guys, let's talk about it. Howdy y'all, Dr. Samir here, gastroenterologist, aka your poop guru, trying to give you the best tips and tricks to help out with your health. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. And also, if you've not signed up for my weekly newsletter, I'll put a link down below in the description. Food allergy testing, oh my gosh, I see this all the time. All my patients ask me about, is there certain testing I can do to see if I'm allergic to a food, see if you have any gut issues, or should I order this food allergy testing? So let's talk about first, what exactly is an allergy test or an allergen? So an allergy is an actual immune response to some sort of instigating event, whether it's like pollen, mold, or for me, allergies. This time, living in West Texas, I get really bad allergies, and I have a pollen as my allergen to cause a lot of kind of nasal congestion and things like that. But as you have that antigen going into your body develops what's called an antibody, which is a way for your body to kind of fight off that antigen. And an allergic response, this is called an immunoglobulin, specifically IgE, for an allergic response. And that response from your body can manifest in a lot of different ways. It could be hives, coughing, congestion, itchy eyes, runny nose, and the worst case scenario can be an actual anaphylaxis. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced this, because I certainly have, especially when it comes to just seasonal allergies. A food intolerance is completely different, completely on the different scale. It is not an actual allergy. This is an intolerance to certain foods that people have. This is not an immunoglobulin response, nor is this a response that we can actually measure. But some people can notice that certain foods make them feel just kind of bad. So the most common food intolerance is dairy. A lot of people have lactose intolerance or dairy intolerance, where they actually have kind of GI issues, bloating, diarrhea, gas, whenever they ingest dairy. This is not an actual allergy response. There's no way we can actually measure this. So what exactly is a food sensitivity? Because if you know the answer, let me know, because as a medical doctor, I have no idea what this is. This is not a medically defined term. This is something that I have not heard about, I did not read about, nor did I learn about in medical school, nor has any other doctor learned about what this is in medical school. So since it's not a medical definition, guess what? A lot of people will make up their own definition for what this is. They will say, you have a food sensitivity for, I don't know, guacamole for some odd reason. But this is not a medically defined term. But a lot of people use this in certain marketing circles to get you to buy their products to see if you are sensitive to these particular foods. Well, let's talk about that. So there are three main ways that we can check to see if you have some sort of intolerance or sensitivity to a food. One is the blood test, which I'll go into details in just a little bit. The second one is actually a skin prick test done by an allergist. And the third one is actually a food log, which a lot of people do. Let's talk about the skin prick test. This is an actual test where an allergist who is a trained doctor in allergies will get a particular antigen, let's say peanuts, almonds. For seasonal allergies, maybe it's mold. They'll put a little pinprick on the back of your, obviously, back to see if you have an immune response to that. This is an IgE response, the same response that I talked about before. And because of that, if you do react, we can see the manifestation of that with little bumps or hives and itching at the spot where they did the pinprick test. This allows the allergist to see, do you actually have an allergic response to that, or do you actually have maybe no response? This is a very effective test to see if you have an allergy to a particular product, but it doesn't necessarily manifest in GI issues. So for example, let's say that you do a skin prick test and it shows that you have an allergic response to eggs. That does not necessarily mean that you're going to have gut issues from eggs. It does say that you're going to have maybe a systemic response from that. It doesn't measure how severe it is, doesn't measure how bad it is, nor does it measure exactly if you're going to have a gut response to that, but you may have an allergy to that. The second one, which is probably the most common test out there, is the blood test. You see this everywhere, all over social media, all over the internet where people can claim to get some blood, they'll run it through a lab, and they'll give you a report that tells you exactly what you are allergic to. Here's what's wrong with these tests. So whenever you do a blood test for a food, it is an IgG test. Very different from an allergic test called an IgE, which I just talked about. An IgG test is basically a memory cell. This is a test that tells your body, hey, I have had this before. So for example, let's say that you've had fish before. Your IgG levels of fish will be positive because your body knows you've had this particular substance before. But these blood tests that are out there just measure IgG. So they're just measuring what you've been exposed to in the past. They are not measuring whether you actually have an allergic response to that, nor are they measuring whether that response is going to be related to what's going on inside your gut. And more often than not, have you seen these reports? Pretty much everything there is positive. There's going to be some detection to everything because guess what? You probably ate most of the things that are in there in the span of your life. And so inevitably, I get these reports and they say, this person is allergic to this person had a response to this person had a response to that. And I just look at them because it basically says you have an allergy to everything. How is that possible? It's not. Here are 3 main issues I have with the blood test. Number 1 is that whatever comes back as positive on the blood test does not at all correlate to what you are allergic to, nor to what you are sensitive to. So for example, I've had plenty of patients who give me a report which it shows that they're allergic to, I don't know, chicken, for example. Well, then I ask them, so what happens when you eat chicken? They tell me, nothing. Well, there it is right there. There is no correlation at all to what's in the report to anything going on inside your GI tract. Problem number 2 is that those reference ranges that they have in there are completely made up. So, for example, I know what somebody's thyroid level is, what the normal is, and based on that, I can see if your thyroid is too high or too low. We use these reference ranges all across the world. So what my normal thyroid level here in Lubbock, Texas is going to be the same as somebody maybe in Korea or somebody in Africa, because we have reference ranges that have been validated and studied through multiple clinical trials to come to a consensus of what is normal and what is abnormal. And when things fall out of the normal range, all of us have a standard language to know exactly what to do for that situation. When you get these blood tests, those ranges that they have on there that are normal, they are completely made up. Just some random person with the company said, hey, I'm going to decide that this is a normal and this is abnormal. And based on my decision with no studies, with no research, I'm gonna make that decision. That's crazy. That's like me just making up what's normal and not normal in my own particular work. Hey man, I think that your testosterone's out of whack because I said so, and I'm telling you what is normal. How crazy is that? Come on, that's not the way it works. And number 3, these things are costly. They cost hundreds of dollars, maybe even thousands of dollars. Medicare won't pay for it. Your insurance won't pay for it because they know this is full of poo. And by far, I can tell you that the benefit you're gonna get from this is pretty much none. When I have a patient give me that piece of paper that says, hey, this is my allergy testing right here. Here's what I do. It's crickets. I have no idea what to do with that. No one does. And so there's absolutely no point in getting this done. So let's talk about the third testing, which is actually doing a food log. This, by far, as a GI doctor, is the cheapest, easiest, and in my opinion, the most accurate way to see if you have some sort of sensitivity or tolerance to food. You just see exactly what you're eating and you log your response to that. Everybody's different, and this allows you to individualize what your particular allergies could be. So for example, I noticed a couple weeks ago that I was having a lot of gut issues, and I normally don't. I have a stomach of steel, but I was having a lot of gut issues. I was like, man, this sucks. I'm a GI doctor and I have gut issues. What is going on? So my wife, being the smart person that she is, I mean, she is brilliant, much smarter than me, noticed, hey, I noticed you've been eating a lot more eggs. Well, I'm trying to get swole, trying to get those guns up right here. Summertime's coming up. Why don't you try eliminating those and see how you feel? Guess what? It worked. Yes, I realized that for me, eggs are not a good combination. Trust me, it's not good. But it's a simple, easy test, and I recommend this for a lot of my patients. The most common foods that people are allergic to: lactose, which includes dairy, cheese, yogurt, things like that, gluten, artificial sweeteners. These are the most common food groups that cause a lot of people to have a lot of gut issues. So in my opinion, you should not get a food allergy testing by a blood testing. These are inaccurate, they're costly, they don't work, there's no benefit. And when you have a doctor look at this, they're going to stare at you and they will have no idea what to do. So don't do it. If you want to see exactly what you're sensitive to, try an elimination diet. I can tell you that is the best way for us to know exactly what's going on. Hey guys, and thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to smash that like button, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. My question of the day for you guys: have you tried food allergy testing? Did you find a response to it? Did it help? Did it not work? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But if you want to know the truth about probiotics, click over here. Or if you want to find out exactly why do you have beer poops, click right here. But guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great and happy day. Howdy y'all, Dr. Samir here, aka gastroenterologist. Howdy y'all, Dr. Samir here, gastroenterologist, aka your poop guru, trying to give you the best tips and tricks to help out with your health. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, smash this like button, and don't forget to share this video. Totally messed up on that intro. Let me do it again. Can I get tested to see if there's specific foods that could be causing a lot of my gut issues? I cannot speak today, but that's okay. I'll do it again. So an allergy, in an allergic response, this is called an In an allergic response, this is called an immunoglobulin. Nor has any other doctor out there has learned about what this is in medical stool. So they're just measuring what you've been exposed to in the past. So there's, God, I can't speak today. Problem number 2 is that those reference dairy, these are the most common issues. These are the most common foods a lot of people have when it comes to issues. Golly, these are the most common foods that people have.